Shaboozey, obviously, you know, we made a lot of history,
I would say so.
And I'm just
It's not it's not a lot of history. It's specific history. So it's 19 weeks.
yeah,
Number one.
yeah,
The only other artist to ever do that is Lil Nas X.
yeah,
Old Town Road. But the craziest thing about this with yours, in my opinion, my humble opinion,
mm-hmm.
is that this is an independent record, an independent artist.
Yeah.
Distribution through Empire and Shaboozey's record label.
Yeah. American Dogwood, yeah.
Right. Oh, that's insanity.
It just goes to show you, like, the things are changing.
Brother, how are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
Bro, man, thank you for coming. Appreciate you. Crazy fucking year, man. Insane year.
Thank you. It's been surreal this year.
What is it like to manage a superstar like Shaboozey?
Yeah.
With a juggernaut of a record in the bar song Tipsy, and where that song is number one in the country for half of the year, for 2024, 19 weeks. What's that like?
Man, I mean, you even saying it, half the year, it's still nuts to hear that, even though we did it and we've been through it. Shaboozey is a superstar.
Yeah.
He's like, and I think he's one of the few lately that have come out that it right away. It's like, oh, this guy's something else. And it's been a mixture of highs and lows, you know what I'm saying? Wins and losses. So the process, I don't think, is different. It's just a lot all at once.
Yeah.
It's you're inundated constantly with what I call opportunities. Some people will call it busy work or just work in general, but everything that comes in is an opportunity, and it's just more of that. So time has been limited, over the past year and a half, because with Shaboozey, it was great, but even before that, we had Paul Russell with Lil Boo thing.
Yeah.
And I think Paul as well is just like one of those guys that is like, hey, I'm here. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be here to stay, and I'm part of the next wave of superstars. Shaboozey, obviously, we made a lot of history.
I would say so.
And I'm just
it's not a lot of history. It's specific history. So it's 19 weeks.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
The only other artist to ever do that is Lil Nas X.
Yeah.
Old Town Road. But the craziest thing about this with yours, in my opinion, my humble opinion,
mm-hmm.
is that this is an independent record, an independent artist.
Yeah.
Distribution through Empire and Shaboozey's record label.
Yeah. American Dogwood, yeah.
Right. Oh, that's insanity.
It just goes to show you, like, the things are changing.
Yes.
I think the major labels will always be major labels, and we'll always need those guys.
Yeah.
They're tried and true institutions. But I think what we're seeing is that an independent label, an independent artist can go number one,
Mm-hmm.
and not only 1 week, but 19 weeks. And we just proved it, and artists, I think now more than ever, have a lot of power,
Mm-hmm.
even more than they think,
Mm-hmm.
or they know. And I'm blessed to be a part of it. We have incredible partners in Empire,
Mm-hmm.
Ghazi, Nima, Tina Davis. These are juggernauts of the industry, and I'm happy that they're getting the shine that they deserve as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Does the role of the manager change when a record is that big?
Yeah, it changes. I think it's just what I've had to do is think very high level.
Okay.
Overall strategy with my partner Abbas Pauti. And it's been a lot of delegation, you can't do it all.
Yeah.
You can't. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So I've had to expand my team. Had to hire people, and that's been amazing too, to be able to like pay people to be in this business and be a part of this.
Right.
Has been a dream of mine to be able to expand. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. Can you walk me through it a little bit? Because I think people that are watching this podcast, or the audience that watches it, is always kind of trying to understand the infrastructure of how to be able to like grow the business, right?
Yeah.
This is a completely different level that we're talking about here, but it's not like I haven't spoken to people that had a high level of success, but you just experienced it in like the last. I can't even say you just experienced it. You're experiencing it right now.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of it. What does that look like in terms of delegation, in terms of who are you hiring, who are you bringing around the team to make sure that you're able to elevate 20,000 feet above the air for the best for you, not only your client, but yourself? And
100%. Yeah. I mean, it all starts with, how do I make sure my clients are handled correctly? How, make sure that they feel as supported as possible. So if we're looking at Shaboozey, obviously we needed to build out his touring team, and I had to hire a tour director basically to make sure that team is doing what they need to do. His name is Jordan Levine. He's incredible, best in the business, in my opinion. So that includes five people right there, tour manager, and his core band is always with him. Security, super important. You know what I mean? So these are all guys that are just with him all the time.
Yeah. Did you play security for a bit?
Yeah, still do.
Every manager that has to still do at point. Yeah.
I'm 6'4", so people tend to get out the way sometimes. But not to get too far into the weeds. But we've had to hire a bunch of people, and I'm blessed to be able to have them around and make sure that everything's working.
Yeah, and so that's on the tour side now. Like when it comes to the partners, obviously distribution and the label. Because you're not doing any outbound. Oh, well, I shouldn't say you're not doing any outbound, but I'm assuming it's a lot of inbound coming.
Yeah.
Right. And so what's the delegation look like for that, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we have great partners in Empire.
Yeah.
And I'm at a great management company called Range. So at Range, we have an amazing branding department that's top tier. We have great digital marketing, great marketing in general. Who else am I forgetting? Like we have a bunch of departments that handle these things, and why I joined Range in the first place. And started out as vice president, and now I just got promoted again this week as managing partner. Yeah. So I feel really great about helping to continue not only building my artists, but all the artists that are signed to Range, so it's great. We have a huge team behind us, so it's not just the core teams on each artist, whether it's Shaboozey, Paul, Bozzy, but everyone behind the scenes at Range as well.
That's amazing. Congrats, by the way.
Thank you, brother.
That's like, because you joined Range, I want to say in 2022, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So within 18 months, you were VP.
Yeah.
And then you became partner.
Yeah. And now managing partner. Yeah.
Managing partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's accelerated growth in your career, man.
Thank you, man. I think a lot of that is, you got to have a goal. You got to see what you want. I think walking into Range, I saw who I wanted to be, walking with.
Yeah.
And they were the partners. And, you could talk about the core team, but like I'm on the call. I'm on calls with partners all the time who've been through this process before, just to get some advice.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going through this right now.
Right.
Shaboozey, Bozzy, whoever's going through this right now, and have you experienced this before? Who should I call about this? And that's what Range has been to me, is community.
All right, we're going to take a little break because being an independent artist takes a lot, and Venice makes sure you don't have to figure it out alone. The Venice team listens to your music, provides direct feedback, builds your release plan, and connects you with opportunities that move your career forward. Venice is the only distributor that opens real doors. They've brought their members to YouTube offices, introduced them to top artist managers, and had Kendrick Lamar's engineer mix their record. Their focus is always on giving artists real access, real support, and a team invested in their next step. If you are ready for your next release, Venice is where you build with a team that understands what it takes. Now let's get back to the pod.
Man, I want to go. I'm tripping up on my words a little bit because it's not often that I get to sit down with somebody who's going through this experience
In real time, right?
in real time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I just kind of want to talk about the hit records,
Sure.
records plural, because you've been a part of a couple
Yeah.
in the last few years. So Lil Boo Thing,
Mm-hmm.
a bar song.
Yeah.
What is it? Tell me about the hit record, and like, are you able to identify that early on? And what is the role in management from your perspective to make sure that that record is getting out there and becoming the monster record smashes that they can be?
Yeah. I think on both those records, I think it's for me, it was identifying that they were the ones.
Okay.
You know, a lot of times in management, and I'm sure you have experience with this too, you're kind of getting them out of their own way sometimes. You know, like, because artists will be like, oh, I love the last record that I wrote, right? But it's like, yeah, that's a great record, but this is the record, you know. And I think it's pouring confidence into the artist, into the producers, to be like, hey man, like, you really got something. Like, this is it. So that was my role with both those songs, was actually being like, hey guys, like, what are y'all doing? Like, these are the songs that we need to focus on.
Prior to them coming out?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, you know, with Paul, that was just a song that he didn't even finish it. It started out as just a social post that
Wow.
he was like, you know, he was in his apartment and heard what was it? I always forget it. Damn, what was the sample? Best of My Love, right? He was listening to Best of My Love. And he was like, man, this is making me feel good. I'm just gonna write a rap, you know, write a verse. You know? And he did it, and he just posted it on TikTok. And so I go crazy.
Yeah.
So me and a boss would call him and be like, hey man, you know you gotta finish this, right? You know what I mean? You gotta finish it.
And what's that conversation like? Because
he's like, yeah, you know, it's good. You know,
Yeah, okay.
Paul is like, he wants to win really bad.
yeah, okay.
And having a partner like that, because my artists are my partners, you know, I'm their partner. He was like, yeah, you're right. I can't wait to finish it, you know. So brought in Sean Cook, who I also manage, and to finish it, and obviously the rest is history.
Yeah, that's incredible. And so what about a bar song?
Yeah,
Because one thing that I don't know if viewers know this, but like, so you just said like, I might have experiences with having an artist get it out of the way, right?
Yeah.
Of the song. And yeah, I have had that experience where I have to,
sure.
don't overthink this. Like,
Right.
this record is this. But me saying that is a lot different than you saying that. Because I'm not a songwriter. So for those who don't know, you also are a songwriter.
Yeah.
Very prolific songwriter. You got 60 million records sold under your belt. Like,
Yeah.
so you have you have an extensive catalog, right?
Yeah.
Don't sound the same coming from me as it will be from you, because and you also co-wrote Down, which is featuring Lil Wayne,
Yeah.
with your brother, basically, Jay Sean.
Jay Sean, man. Yeah. That's my guy.
You already wrote a massive record that went #1 in 2009, which is crazy to me as well. So you already had a #1 record as a songwriter,
Yeah.
and then an executive in 2024, 15 years later.
Amazing.
Yeah, you are like the Jamie Foxx of the music business. Like on the executive side.
I love that. I never heard that one before.
You're the Jamie Foxx of the executive.
Hey, I'll take that.
100%. Songwriter, artist as well. You know, like, I'm gonna put you on blast here a little bit, but like, you were on American Idol
I
in
was.
2007 as a semifinalist.
Yes, sir.
So you killed that. Songwriter, then you were a host on Fuse TV. Like, no, you were definitely Jamie Foxx of the executive side.
Hey, I'll take that, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So like, you have the ability to actually hear these hit records.
Yeah, I think that's part of what sets me apart from other managers. You know, it's a little bit of a superpower that I've I've been in the trenches. You know, I've been in the studio for hours and hours and hours, listening to different chords that the producers like, you like this? You like this? You know, it's like, no, that's not it yet. Or you know, while trying to find the perfect snare with my co-writers or producers, and hours of changing lines. That's not good enough. You know, all the things. And so I can relate to them, you know, because I've been there, and I think they respect that, you know, a little bit more. You know, when I just say, man, that's not the right tempo, or that's the, you could do better melodically. You know what I mean? So luckily though, I'll be honest, Shaboozey, Paul, Bozzy, these guys are prolific writers.
They already have it.
You know, they're better than I was. You know, and I'm that's by design. I think, you know, I don't sign artists that don't write. I think that's a big thing. You know, you have to have that gift.
How come?
When you have an artist that's a writer, there's authenticity that comes through. You know, yeah, sure. There's the Whitney Houstons and you know, artists like that are able to emote other people's, you know, lyrics and melody. But for me, you know, just personally, it's just what I gravitate to more, and have found the most success in artists that write. Yeah.
I think Whitney Houston is a rare breed, because I was having this conversation with my boy, and we were talking about Whitney, and he said something very profound to me. He's like, there are people who can sing really good, but then there are recording artists who can interpret. But there's no better interpreter than Whitney Houston.
Yes, I agree.
That's like very hard to find, right? So if you have a songwriter, because it's true to them, because they wrote it, like that. Not to say that that's easier, but it does. There's more authenticity, like you said. There's more of a specific kind of way of that song is going to be written, and you as a manager, I would assume, who has that ear for songwriting, it also can help that.
100%. And I'm not saying that the artist needs to write every song.
No,
You
of
know
course
what I'm
not.
saying?
Yeah.
But they need to have been able to hone their sound on their own.
Yeah.
So that other writers will be like, oh, this is a Shaboozey song.
Yeah.
You know, and that's literally what writers attempt to do. You know, and try to send me things, and it's worked a few times. Like, we have a record working right now for Shaboozey called Good News. There was a pitch song, you know, that Ozzy had to come in and just touch up a little bit, but that was a song that was mostly written by someone else. Yeah,
That's what's up.
yeah.
What are the similarities, you know, from that #1 record with Down and Jay Sean and Lil Wayne and a bar song, if there are any similarities in terms of, you know, the hit record from that decade versus this decade?
I don't know if there's any similarities other than I think they're both melodically driven.
Yeah.
You know, as simple as Down is, baby, are you down, 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 down? That doesn't leave your head. You know what I'm saying? Down. It doesn't go, you know?
Yeah.
A bar song is just a driving. It's just all the time. It's driving. You know, so melody to me is always king.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Shaboozey is a prolific writer. He's a rapper, so his bars are insane. You know, so add the two of those, you #1s for 19 weeks.
Yeah. And when you had, exactly. And the way that a #1 came about in 2009, very different than it is in this day and age, right?
Yeah.
Forget about the song, but like on the marketing side of things, do you remember what it was like, and comparatively to like what it is today from 2009 when that record became #1?
Yeah, I think there was just a lot more hand-to-hand combat back then. You know, the song released and Down released, and there was a lot of, like, Jay had to hit the promo trail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, almost immediately.
Right.
And go out there and shake the hands and kiss the babies, you know.
Work the record. Yeah.
You know, traditionally.
Yeah.
Now you can do that all from Instagram and TikTok. You know, not all of it, but a lot of it.
Yeah.
And it takes half of the battle out, you know.
Right.
Shaboozey didn't necessarily need to go on a full radio tour like Jay and Bozzy had to do. And Bozzy had a top 10 hit. What was that? 2018. So
That's right.
less than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's definitely different these days.
So you guys didn't do a full radio tour?
Not a full one. No, we didn't. We really didn't need to.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah, we didn't need to. There was just so much want for that record. Like people would call and ask for it without being prompted.
Yeah.
People wanted to hear that song. And it just tested so well.
That's what tested.
I think PDs they had to. And their job is to give the people what they want.
Yeah,
the people wanted the record.
It was undeniable at that point, essentially, for that record to go. Yeah, that's amazing. So you guys didn't have to do any of the radio stuff. Wow, okay.
Not any, but
sorry, not any, but not what it was before.
Nah, nowhere near.
Yeah,
nowhere near.
Because the opportunities were already kind of coming your way.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
And is there a moment where you are like you said with Lil Bootang?
Yeah.
Now with a bar song, was there a moment like, yo, you gotta focus here?
Yeah, it's funny because Boozy told me, he's like, I got this thought in my head, this idea. I've had it for a long time. He told anyone who would listen, that's just me, but he's, because I think he was trying to like almost focus group it, like what song should it be? Because I think if I made a song from the 2000s, 90s, 2000s, a hip hop record, and turn it into a country song, I think that's a win. Like it's totally his idea. And that's fire. And he tried a couple. I remember there was like, I forget the ones, but he never fully did it, but he was like in his head, he was like trying to figure it out. But he always gravitated to Tipsy, from Jaquan. And when he and Sean and Nevin finally got it together in the studio, I'm so mad I wasn't there.
Oh,
I just wanted to be around the magic.
Of course, yeah.
But a boss,
as a songwriter,
and a boss was there and called me. He's like, Jay, I think we got one. And when I got the bounce that night, I was like, oh, we definitely got one. This is it, man.
Yeah.
And of course, the artist, you really think it's it? Yes, my friend. This is it. You just did it. You just changed everyone's life. Everyone's life. And a few more conversations like that, but we set it up. Then the Beyonce thing. We actually set it up.
But when you say you had a few more conversations like that, you have to still convince that it was.
Yeah, I think artists, and this is not just true with Shaboozey, just going back to what I said, like there's you have to kind of like, sometimes they don't know, they especially with a guy like Boozy though, like he can write another one.
Yeah.
Like he's so good.
I know.
Yeah. So he's like, wait, is it this one? It's like, no, bro. I'm telling you, it's this one.
Right. Because it comes so easy to.
Yeah. He gives everything to me.
Yeah.
He really does. Bozzy too. It's like anytime I get a Bozzy record, I get excited.
Yeah.
And it's been years. But like him in the studio with his writing partner Kevin White is you can't beat that. And I'm excited for him this year. That's going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And Shaboozey, like I said, he's just going to do it again. That's why it's not. It's funny. People are like, well, how does it feel now? It's like, yeah, it feels great now, but it feels like it's going to be for a while.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a little break because if you're listening and thinking, fuck, I could really use some guidance right now, and you're serious about building your career in the music industry, I'm now offering private strategy sessions. These are fully personalized, just you and me tackling whatever you need in your career. With over 16 years of experience working with artists, managers, and brands, I can help you map out your next moves. Now, whether that's structuring your team, scaling your brand, navigating the industry, even figuring out what steps to take, whether to go to a distributor or to a record label and figuring out what are the best deal points, I can help you with your career with where you're at. You can now book a one-on-one with me through my Calendly, and you can find the link in the description. Now let's get back to the pod.
That's great. And so actually, my next question is like, how do you actually figure out a way to be able to make sure that strategically you're positioning it so it's long, fruitful career?
Yeah. For me, the strategy, and I think you could see it being that he's so visible, is we're gonna inundate the market. You're not gonna forget. That's the strategy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not even gonna be bashful about it. Like, that's the strategy.
Yeah.
We're gonna be in your face.
Well, what I mean, like, that's super important, especially in this day and age, because like I was literally having this conversation with another manager yesterday because they were asking me, they said, do you think that if we put one song out and we're working this song, but we put another song out, it's going to distract from us? I'm like, brother, like everybody has a different algorithm. Like there isn't such thing.
There's no such thing as oversaturation.
There is no such thing as oversaturation.
Yeah, and I think artists they already saw this from me. It's like, who's they?
Who's they?
Because not everybody saw it, man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Post it again.
Yeah.
Like, you know, let's do this other show. You know, 20 miles away.
Right.
You know, like
right.
whatever.
Right.
Because not everybody got to see it.
Yeah.
Not everybody got to hear it. You know?
And those people might not even know they might know the song. Don't know the song.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. But even maybe less that they'll know who the artist is behind the song. But if they start hearing another song that's starting to like raise its hand and become big, then you connect the dots to the other record. You're like, oh, this is Shaboozey.
Yes.
This is Bozzy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like, all right, you're starting to connect the dots a lot more. And that takes time.
Yes. It takes time.
Yeah.
And it takes it takes repetition.
Yeah.
Doing it again and again.
Yeah.
And you know, listen, artists are humans. They're gonna get tired, and you know, sometimes we'll have to pull back a little bit
For sure.
But I think this day and age, you just have to stay in their faces until you don't have to anymore. Like, you know, Beyonce doesn't have to release a record every year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think 99.9% of artists do. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it harder to manage an artist with no traction or artist that has all the traction in the world?
Depends on what you mean by harder. Like, I think there's a lot of psychology that goes into what we do. You know, there's a lot of counseling. So I think the artist that doesn't have as much going on, there's a lot of work there.
Mm-hmm.
An artist that does have a lot going on, there's just more work in general. You know, emails, there's more travel, there's more, you know, there's still that psychological talk, you know what I'm saying? So I think it depends on
I get
what kind of thing.
I guess my question is because I think a lot of people might believe that once a record goes big or an artist starts to go big, the job gets easier. But you and I both know that that's not from the truth.
No, that's not the case. You know, it's funny. I spoke with a fellow manager today, and you know, she was like, the work stays the same really, but as you get bigger, you do less, right? Meaning you're not doing every award show. You're not necessarily doing all the radio stuff. You're not, you know, all the promo things that are needed because you're just at that point, you as an artist is so big, you don't necessarily need to do this. Your fan base is going to lift you up.
Yes.
But when you're growing, you have to do those things. So there's a lot of work in that. So yeah, I think the work is different, but it's still work.
It's still work for sure. Yeah, I found that when we were going through it with Jesse, when we had figures,
Yeah.
it was record. Yeah, thank you. As if I wrote it. That's just but it was.
I say thank you too.
Yeah,
For sure.
Right.
You know, like,
but it was like 6 months of like the thing was growing, but then it was also the idea of whether we go sign with the record label or not.
Yeah.
Stay independent or not.
Yeah.
This is end of 2016, early 2017, so definitely a different time. It's like dog years now in music business. Right? But what I do remember, once we did do the deal, and it was still growing, the song, like just very slowly, but it was growing. I remember the work was a lot.
Mhm.
It didn't change in terms of like when we didn't have any traction in terms of because you're still doing a lot of work. But what I remember a lot was like navigating the politics a lot. Because, and I don't know if it's the same way now, but it was like, well, if you don't do this over here,
Yeah.
it can create conflict over here. And
Sure.
do you want to rub these people the wrong way? But I'm like, yeah, but my artist hasn't slept in 4 days.
Right.
What do you?
There's a balance. There's a balance for
Yeah.
sure. Those politics are definitely still there. You know, it's
Yeah.
like we every artist, every manager has partners. You know, the partners. You know, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, you
Right.
know,
Right.
YouTube,
Yes.
and they all want the same thing multiple times from each successful artist,
Yeah.
and those are the biggest visibility plays. So you don't want to, upset the apple cart. You want those plays. You know what I mean? And I think those are the nuances that a lot of artists don't necessarily understand all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't get that. Okay, if we did this for one, you kind of have to do it for the other. But that's part of our job is to, navigate that and those relationships
Yeah.
to the best of our ability. I think everyone has their favorites, but all of it is important.
Yeah. Yeah. Does it ever become a thing where with your artist, it doesn't matter which one it is, but like, how are you ultimately ensuring that they are staying healthy and grounded in these situations? Because it's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's a conversation that's actually been most recent for me.
Fair enough.
So yeah, you need to take care of your diet. You need to, we just hired trainers, but also I really expect everyone I work with to be an adult, take care of themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're grown, like, you know what I'm saying? You can't expect your management team to do everything for you. There's some things that you need to be accountable for as an adult, as a human being. So, my job is to make sure you're good, and I'll do that. But then it's up to you to make sure you go.
Yeah.
I'm not dragging you out of bed anymore, man.
Yeah. Well, you're not managing the artist if you are.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that a long time ago. It's like, if I can't get you out of bed, then I'm not managing you.
Boom.
That's it. Is that informed by a lot of the stuff that you went through as well in your early career?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right. Because I used to be the guy that, hey man, you come on. It's like,
Oh, really?
yeah. It's like, no, like, Art, do you want this?
Yeah. Okay.
Then wake up.
Right.
Be here on time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll call. Don't get me wrong. But for the most part, I really, we're partners, and respect me like I respect you.
Yeah.
If I set something up for you, or if we have to do something,
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I need you there too.
Yeah. Is there a part now where like there is that, you have to delegate because you can only do so much, right?
Yes.
And then the artist isn't with you necessarily all the time. So that relationship kind of changes a little bit.
Yes.
How important is it for the artist to be able to accept that you are still obviously overseeing everything and still working, but not there all the time physically?
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard for them to understand, but I have great partners.
Yeah.
In these artists, with these artists. And we work together, and I don't know if artists realize how difficult the job is sometimes. But it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
Again, were you informed with that when you were an artist? Did you think that it was completely different? Like I'm actually thinking about it here, being like, yo, what made you want to become an artist manager? I realized you do this to yourself.
I realized maybe I wasn't. I didn't have the mindset enough to actually to win at being an artist. You know what I'm saying? Or win with being an artist. I think I needed a little bit more of I needed to be a little bit more of my own world builder.
Mm-hmm.
I realized that I was better at building other people's worlds.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think songwriting gave that to me. I was really good at helping Jay build his world.
Okay.
You know, he brought he brought something to Jeremy and I, Jeremy Scholar and I, and what we did was help, you know, refine it, and I love doing it. And so I think the natural progression for me from songwriting is to be manager.
Can you tell me a little bit more of that time there?
Yeah. I mean, we were working all the time in the studio. It's fun. I'm smiling because it's fun to like go back to that, you know, that phase of my life.
Man, start with it.
I didn't have to like, you know, wake up early for a staff meeting. You know what I'm saying?
It was all late.
Yeah.
Or you were working.
I was working late. You know, it's like, okay,
Schedule.
I'm in the studio till 2, 3. You know, maybe go to the after party spot from 3 to 5.
Yeah.
Wake up at 2.
Yeah.
Be in the studio at 4 or 5 again and do it all over. You
Watch Purple Rain for 2 hours.
Hell yeah, Purple Rain, definitely. That's so funny. That's the movie that everybody watches.
Well, I heard the story. You guys talk about.
Oh, okay.
It was so with a songwriter producer where you all of a sudden watching Purple Rain.
Yeah,
the movie. You're like, what's?
That's so funny.
That's amazing.
That's great. Yeah, so I think going back to that, it was fun, man. It was just so fun to create, and be in a studio with an international superstar that was Jay Sean, you know, and or that is Jay Sean.
Yeah, and
be able to help, you know, change our lives. That was really a life changer for me personally.
Yeah,
you know, it was just the 3, 4 of us in a room, trying to just writing songs, man. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have any agenda. It was just, hey, let's write songs, see what happens. Right. You know, and luckily we were successful in it. You know, but I think, and Down is a really good representation of it. You know, we were just having fun, man. Baby, are you down, 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 down? It was just, you know, it was just so off the cuff.
Do you remember that session?
Yeah, I remember I had so when I was writing, I would, I may still have it if I searched it, but I just had a list, you know, a bunch of writers do, right? They just have a list of a bunch of concepts, you know, hundreds of concepts. And I remember the night before, I was watching, we were in Miami, and I was watching the news, and it was like, you know, there was like the news reporter, and he was like, it's like, it was raining. He's like, it's like the sky is falling down, right? And I was like, ooh. Yeah, just, you know, I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, it turned into I love you, and, you know, even if the sky is falling down, you know what I'm saying? And so I brought it into the session the next day, and I was like, yeah, I got this line, man. You know what I'm saying? I love you even if the sky is falling down. And he was like, oh, that's cool. And you know, the label, I remember, was pushing, he's like, you know, it was the last song we wrote, or the second to last song we wrote. And they wanted a hit.
Yes.
You know. And so Rob Laurel, Jeremy Scholar, the producers, they were like, you know, they specifically like put these couple of tracks together, and we were like, you gotta write a smash on one of these. These are smash tracks. I was like, all right, cool, man.
Like Jeremy?
Yeah, Jeremy and Robert said this. So we were like, all right, man, we'll try. Try.
I guess.
And I was like, I got this line, you know? and I just basically freestyled that one line, and, you know, even if the sky is falling down, and Jay was like, that. It happened so fast, bro.
Yeah.
We wrote the song in 10 minutes, and it's not like this huge lyrical thing, right?
Wow.
But obviously it struck a nerve and it struck a chord with people, rather, and it was just magic. That's why I wanted to be in the room for a bar song, because I remember that.
See, yeah. Chasing that feeling for the rest of your life, man.
100%.
Yeah. Well, and then what
the chills thinking about it.
Man, that's crazy, because I remember I heard the story was coming from Jay, where he was saying that he was even tricked into recording that record that night.
Jeremy was like, hey, because Jay went into the booth, and Jeremy was like, watch this, cut this whole song.
Oh, he told you that he was
he's gonna cut this whole song. I'm like the whole thing, like right now, because we was Miami. We were like, okay, it's like 1 o'clock. You know, trying to they're trying to get out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get active.
Now it makes a lot of sense that you wrote that record in Miami as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that. I really believe that. That's why we try to send our artists to different places.
Yep.
Because even if it's the same chords, same tracks, what they write in LA is going to be different from New York, Miami, London, whatever.
Yeah.
So it was just like the perfect storm of all that stuff.
Yeah. And so he cut.
So Jeremy's like, watch this. He's like, just do that one line again. So he had sang it all the way through. He's like, just this one line, So, but Jeremy, genius he is, was literally fixing things along the way, knowing what he would need to get over.
Fire.
And Jay's such a great singer, so it didn't take a lot.
Sure.
But the whole song was done in less than an hour.
Incredible.
And
that means writing and recording.
Writing and recording.
Yeah.
And we had it.
Nice.
Well, we had let's say 90% of it hit.
Okay.
And then, we didn't have we did have a bridge actually, but it wasn't that great. It wasn't that great. And we were like, well, Jay, you're signing Cash Money. I remember Jeremy saying, you're signing Cash Money. I'm gonna call Slim and we need Wayne. We need Wayne on this. And we were all like, yeah, we definitely need Wayne on this. So I'm just a songwriter. We leave.
This context 2008, 9.
2008.
Wayne is on incredible run.
The run. Yeah.
Right.
Haven't even seen something like, that. I mean, I guess the closest is Drake.
Yeah.
Like it's it was insane, his run.
Yeah.
And especially with collabs. And so it was, we were like, okay, yeah, Wayne, sure. And Jeremy made it happen. Slim made it happen.
Yeah.
And I think it was like a week later. He just sends it to me, and I remember listening to into the studio. And I don't know if I've been that happy since. You know what I'm saying, from a business standpoint. We knew we had something after that.
Yeah, I mean, you're younger at that time. Well, so this is like your first real experience.
Yeah,
and you identifying it, and you guys all understanding and knowing like, oh, it's gonna change our lives.
Yeah, it's funny. I knew we had a hit. I knew like, okay, we'd all get publishing deals. You know what I mean? Like we'd all be able to like, I don't know, go on vacation or something.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect I don't think you ever expect that. Like even with a bar song, if you ask Shaboozey, he would never expect it. Number one for the first 19 weeks. Or the most the longest running number one radio as well, 27 weeks. That's still number one right now.
Yeah,
at radio.
Wow.
So like, I don't think you ever expected, but I remember it went number 68 on iTunes. Downed it, and we partied. we like went to dinner and was like, yo, we did it. We're number 68, and then it was like 36. Like, oh shit! See my language. It was like, no, it's 36. And it was like 15. And then we're number one on iTunes and couldn't even.
Yeah.
And iTunes was like the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just, then it hit radio. It was number one, longest running radio record of that year. Paparazzi, I think, was number two from Lady Gaga Paparazzi, if I'm not mistaken. And then, so then we started climbing the Billboard chart. And that was an incredible moment. And then we got to number 2 on the Billboard chart, and I Got a Feeling was number 1. I was like, okay, we'll never go number 1.
Which is also like 12 weeks.
Yeah. It was like, this thing might be there forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. For context, Black Eyed Peas had I Got a Feeling and Boom Boom Pow like back to back. That was like 25 weeks and then one.
Talk about a run.
That's a year. Right.
Man.
Right.
And
so you think this is
like number 2, great. First time I was happy with number 2. First time I was happy being number 2. You know what I'm saying? And it was just unbelievable when we went number 1. It was like, what? My first real placement, honestly, went number 1 and down, as a songwriter. So there's just it's just amazing. This was that long ago.
Yeah.
And still in it, still celebrating number ones right now.
Man, that's incredible.
Man.
You were talking about publishing a little bit. Can you talk to me just about, because as a songwriter and as a manager, how are you talking to your clients, about publishing, and what are the best type of publishing deals to do, especially when you have such motion?
Yeah. I think most artists, most producers and songwriters, they still want the big, co-publishing check, the co-publishing deal check. I think the smartest thing to do is to get an admin deal.
Yeah.
90-10 split, 92, 7.5, 10, 7.5% split. 95, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explore you.
Hey, come on. Keep
Come on, John.
But no, I think, listen, there's no right or wrong answer, especially if you have a great partner. We have great partners, Warren Chappell with Shaboozey, APG with Bozzy, and Sony with Paul. We've definitely diversified in that way, and we're able to do great deals, for our guys. That we're all happy, with those deals, the co-pub deals. And we'll see what happens in the future.
Yeah.
But admin deals are the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
But the check isn't as big up front.
No, but I mean, on the back end, you're going to get more at the end of the day, especially
if you're patient.
Especially, right. If you're patient, building the catalog, and who knows, because how streaming goes, there is you got big money coming into the music business, buying catalog, with assets under management of billions of dollars. So like, there's even more upside if you do ever decide to sell. You have the option, essentially.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
I think something that you said is really important, going back to just like the relationship that you have with Jeremy and Jay.
Yeah.
I posted something on my Instagram the other day where I was like, I put these quotes up every now and again.
Love the quotes, man. That's my favorite.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah.
I seen you like one, and it was, and I actually want to talk about it. I think you like the one where I said it's 20% talent, and so in order for it to have like a hit record is 20% talent, 40% who you know, 40% if those people who you know like you. It could be interpreted in many ways.
Sure.
The way that I was thinking about it is, of course, you need talent, I think, to have a hit record. But when I say 40% of the people that you know, I think about that in terms of those other talented individuals in the studio with you, making the record. And I think something else that's very important is like, you can't just get into the studio with a massive, maybe you can, I don't know. You would know better than me, and this is what I wanted to ping back to you. But it's like, if the vibe isn't right in the studio and you don't like each other, it's going to be a lot harder to make great music. Maybe.
It's funny, man. Like, I think it depends on you. Like, they're real professionals. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, I don't necessarily like this artist that much, but I'm gonna give him a smash because I'm trying to make some money. Or I'm gonna give him a smash because I love their art. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily need to like the person to like the art.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't think you.
Even
I think most of the time you need to like them, but
Well, I would say, okay, maybe if we're looking at it in terms of like building a strong relationship with a right?
Then yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Having a great energy in the room is so important when you go.
Very important. It's funny, when I was a writer, I'm walking in the room smiling. I'm waiting on the artist. I'm like, it's okay. They can be 2 hours late. Chill here, watch Purple Rain. I think it's important to just keep good energy, good vibes.
Yeah. And would you say the same thing as well as a manager? When you're managing these artists, you got to make sure that you're keeping good energy.
100%.
Yeah. Can you tell them a little bit?
I mean, I think I've taken that into my my days as a writer. I care a lot. I care a lot about my clients. I care a lot about winning. I want to win. I'm a winner. I try to take that good energy, that positive vibe into a call, into a meeting, not all conversations are easy when you're a manager to your artist. Um, you know, you sometimes need to give them some news that's going to be hard for them to hear.
Yeah.
But it's just part of the everyday business.
Yeah. How do you approach that?
I usually just tell them up front, hey, I need to tell you something, or we need to talk about something you're not gonna like, but I'm gonna tell you anyway because I have to, And I think immediately they're like, okay, you're gonna tell me something, it disarms people, and not just artists. I think it's like you're up front. It's like, hey, this is a conversation we need to have, but and it may not be what you want, but I think when you start like that, we're gonna figure it out together. It lessens the blow a little bit.
Dude, well, you said that these are your partners, and somebody I spoke to, Tyler Henry, a mutual friend of ours, but also your partner,
Yes, sir.
at Range, said something very important about you, and which I think is true. He says that you're a natural born leader.
Oh wow, that means a lot to me.
Where does that come from?
I think it comes from basketball, actually.
Okay.
Basketball is a game, a sport that tells you a lot about a person. You can be a very aggressive offensive scorer. You can be a defender. You can be a guy that just gets out there and does all the dirty work. And I think your personality is exposed on the basketball court. And so I like to be the leader. I like to be the guy who was like, come on, we got this. It's all right. A little bit of a cheerleader.
Yeah.
You know.
You can't hide that, of course. 5 people there.
Yeah. So I think that's just my personality. I'm, for Tyler to say that, it means a lot to me. Tyler is someone I look up to. I think he's a great manager.
Yeah, absolutely.
And done some really great work. I believe he's #1 right now with Party Next Door and Drake. I think the album went #1, something. So
It's about, if it's not #1 right now, it's about to be.
it's about to be. Shout out to Toronto.
Shout out to Toronto. You are an honorary Canadian as well.
Hey, I'll take it.
You're married to Canadian music royalty in Fiona.
I am. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God I am.
Yeah. By the way, she just put out a project as well too, or she's a few songs.
Yeah.
It's sounding great.
Thank you. Yeah,
You guys gotta check that out. No, Fiona.
Yeah, Mona Lisa Smile just dropped. It's a great song. Co-written with by another friend of mine, Lil Eddie from back in the day. I remember writing records with him in 2005. So
Wow.
yeah. God, I had it in 2005.
Okay.
6. Yeah, she is Canadian royalty.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Tyler is one of the best managers that I've ever come across as well. His demeanor has always been amazing to watch. We were on tour with him in 2008. I thought 2018 in Europe. And I just remember seeing how he operated.
Yeah.
He was always like, there's a lot going on,
Yeah.
obviously, but he always just operated with a lot of poise.
Yeah.
What do you think makes a great manager in 2025?
I think that poise is important. I recently had a situation where it was going to be an uncomfortable conversation that I knew could, not with an artist, with someone. And I knew that if I allowed myself to become heightened, that the conversation would have gone left. And I think it's important to keep your poise. And I agree. I think that's one of the strongest Tyler has.
Yeah.
Tyler stays like this, man.
Always.
And I try to as well, all the time. I don't try to get too high or too low. Sometimes you have to, sometimes you have to, but yeah, I think that's really important for a manager to be. You got to be consistent.
Yeah.
Because artists are like this.
Yeah.
And they should be.
Yeah,
They need to
absolutely.
be. They need to experience all those highs and lows so they can write the best record for people. You know what I'm saying? That
They feel harder.
yeah. But that's their cross they say. That's what makes them great.
Right.
So yeah, my job is to stay even.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you find that you're like, this is just from even though the other managers that you've been fortunate to be around now at that range where you see these key traits where, you know, this is a really good thing that I want to apply to my own experience?
Yeah. I think just passion, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like you gotta be passionate about this because it's not easy.
No.
It's not, you know, like, and it's tough to even explain what we do, you know, to everybody. Like my aunt the other day, she's like, "So what is it you do again?
Yeah.
How are you involved in this?" I was like, "Well, I manage the careers of these amazing people, you know, and well, so you get them record deals?" Like, yes, but everything else that comes before and after that, you know. So you know, it's hard, and I think even artists, like I said earlier, like the nuance of giving them what they want, but also making sure they have what they need from a political standpoint at the label, at the partners, at the radio stations, at the Grammys and the Brits and everything else that comes with it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of push pull that managers have to deal with.
Yeah.
You know, so again, you got to stay even through it and don't let one thing affect the other. There's also what I'm working on right now is the work-life balance. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna ask,
You know, luckily I have a wife that is also in the music industry, so she understands most of it.
Sure.
But she's an artist herself, you know. So I'm constantly surrounded by artists. I'm somewhat of an artist. My kids are definitely artists, you know. So it's
my grandfather is also artist as well.
well, yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah, my great grandfather was the first African American to perform at Carnegie Hall in New York City. You know, so it's just in my blood to be here. My father was in the Big Apple band, which was the band before Chic. That band became Chic. So a lot of history in my family
With Nile Rodgers, right?
Yeah, with Nile Rodgers, with Rod Edwards. Yeah. So a lot of history in my family in music. You know, that's both sides of the family. So I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now you were saying you're balancing the family with the business side of it.
Yeah.
I feel like, man, if I'm being honest with you, like I don't even know what that looks like. I've been so in this, like, wanting this to make this work, and now I'm going a little bit of a different direction. Obviously, just building this podcast and the media side of things. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it means a lot, especially coming from someone like you. But it's a lot, and my girlfriend understands. I have a long distance relationship, so it in many ways it makes it challenging, but it also frees me up to really focus.
Yeah.
So I don't have any children yet. Want to have children, obviously, but I do always have this kind of, I don't know. I just like, if you really want to just go for it all the way, it's like, what does balancing look like? Is that even a real thing to achieve?
Yeah, and balance looks like this.
I know.
You're doing this all the time, you know. So it's too far over here. You know, gotta even myself out. You know, and you know, it's work. It's work on top of work.
Yeah,
you know, but it's worth it. You know, there's a lot of conversation, a lot of communication on that side too. You know, and it's important. You know, especially, you know, I have two kids. I have an 8-year-old boy and a 3-year-old girl. You know, and I want to be there for them. But they understand that daddy needs to grind right now. Right. You know, daddy's on the wave. Yeah. And you gotta ride it. So again, I think there's a lot of understanding that needs to happen. But not only the understanding from your family, but your understanding that they're making sacrifices just like you are. You know, they don't have dad there all the time. Because he has to go out on tour, you know, or fly to New York for one meeting, you know, which I do quite often, you know, or go to Nashville for the Country Music Awards, what's country music? You know, like, well, then daddy's in country music now.
Yeah.
You know, you know. So,
You ever expect that? You would think that turns out?
oh man, I'll be honest with you. No, that's one genre I never thought I would be in. But
What is that?
I think country music has notoriously been known for being very niche.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's hard to get into.
Shit, I thought you were going to say notorious in what?
Yeah. I mean, that too. That too. But I think things are changing. I think a lot of the people there want it to change.
Yeah.
You know, there in Nashville.
Interesting.
I do. I really believe that.
Yeah.
You know, having been in country music now for 2 years,
Yeah.
I see that people are like are welcoming us. You know, and be like, wow, this is what we've been waiting for. Someone who is genuine about being in this space, which Shaboozey is.
Yeah.
You know, even 4 years before, I think 5 years before, he had even written a bar song. He was in Nashville, like, running the streets and like meeting people and learning as much as possible. And Lil Harris went to his high school, right? So he's able to speak about these things, and I can speak about them now because he does. And I've learned so much from him about the genre, and I think he knows more about country music than a lot of country music artists.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah.
And once people have seen that he's really authentic in this space, oh wow, okay,
yeah,
you may not look like what we are used to,
right?
But you're one of us,
yeah.
And I think that's exciting. That's been a real surprise about this whole experience thus far is being pioneers. I think we feel that way.
Yeah.
We're looking back too. We're seeing people come through and pop up
from the door that you guys,
that I think maybe wouldn't have gotten the shine that they're getting right now without one Beyonce just being like, hey, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're here, and this guy's amazing. But then Boozy walking through that door for sure.
And then just
wide open. You see it in, you're seeing Cassius Culpepper and Tanner Adele, who's also on the Beyonce album. Raina Roberts, and like these really great Black country singers. Warren Treaty were already there, but I think we're all getting so much more shine because Shaboozey is who he is.
Authentic. You said the authenticity matters. It doesn't matter what genre you're across, but like if you're authentic, people will accept you.
Absolutely.
Have you met Chief and Simon, guys from the Core?
No.
Okay. Well, but they're in the country space as well. Good dudes, but they're saying the same thing. That they love it. They think that Nashville, because it's most of the scene is in there, needs this diversity and this like energy because like if you're great, you're great, and if you're
that's it.
That's it.
It's like just like in hip hop. Like if you're a great rapper, if you're a great artist, like by all means, like you're here. And I think historically, country has not been that.
Right.
But I think Nashville is wide open for it, and we didn't win any CMAs, and there was definitely some thought that I've had about that. Shaboozey's doing his own thing, and it's not a reflection of him, but I had a few thoughts, but we're here.
This is the thing that I really enjoy talking with you about is like you actually shine a lot of light on all the people that you work with. It seems like you're of service to everyone.
Yeah.
Right. And so by doing that, you're actually, to your point, you said you're being a world builder.
Yeah.
For the artists, the clients that you're working with. And so even if you have some thoughts about how something has transpired that you don't necessarily agree with, you say, okay, it is what it is. I do have an opinion. And keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like I can't change that. It's happened. All we continue to do is just continue to build this. And to the point where you said it's just like it becomes undeniable. So like, what are we talking about at that point?
100%. 100%. I think when you're putting things together, like I have been, like me and my partner, Boss Pouty, and my partner, Jeremy Scholar, have been for a long time, like the way that I like to do things is hire people that I feel are going to do a good job, and then trusting myself that I made the right decision.
Yeah.
And letting those people do their jobs. And I think a lot of times, managers they'll get a little stuck in the details and the micromanaging of the people that you've hired. And I just don't do that. Now, there are corrections that are made along the way.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to, again, trust that I've made the right decision in hiring this person and letting them fly. And if we need to have discussions along the way, that's great. But I'm gonna trust that you know what you're doing.
Were you always like that?
No. no, not always. But
When did that eureka moment happen, and when did that change?
I think it was like, when I first came to Range,
Oh, wow.
and I had to I had to let go. I think when starting the heavy group with the Jeremy, it was just us. So anyone that we hired, it was very important for us to be on everybody's ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And with coming into Range and me wanting to expand my business, I wanted to have the freedom and time to do that. I wanted to trust that someone was going to make that call or email to Spotify to say, hey,
Gotcha.
Ben Kessler's coming out this week, and he's a new artist and he's great, and,
Yeah.
and these are all the details that you need to know about this release, right? And I think before I wasn't, I literally did it every time.
Yeah.
And but now you have to trust again that you've made the right decision.
Yeah.
That these people share the same passion as you, and free up your time to sign Shaboozey. Free up your time to partner with a boss to make sure that that your career continues to flourish. You know what I'm saying? And it was obviously the right decision.
Yeah.
To be able to trust people, to and trust yourself. Again, I think ego comes into it. It's like, okay, no, I have to do this. It's me. I have to do it all.
Yeah.
Right. But if I flip that, it's like I'm already doing it. I've already done it by hiring this person.
Yeah. Exactly. You do the work.
I'm trusting myself already that I've made the right decision.
Right. And it's so even when you were with the heavy group, it's not that you needed to sorry, it's not that you wanted to be this way where you were micromanaging. You needed to because it was a very small infrastructure.
Very small. And also, I was still learning.
Right. And so you
learning.
think that this is the way that it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, right.
But at a certain point, it sounds like to me like you figured out it can't be this way. And I need to find a space, a place where I can delegate and trust the individuals are amazing at what they do, so to free up your time, to buy back your time, essentially. That's what you're doing ultimately at the end of the day. Because if you then stay too long in the weeds with something, it's like a dollar job, or it's like a $5 job. But I got to focus on the $500 job.
Absolutely.
I got to make sure that the vision is moving forward. The needle is moving in the right direction strategically. 20,000 feet above the air is where you're going to be the most valuable to your client at this point.
Absolutely. Well said.
Yeah. Talk to me, speaking of Range, speaking of, Jay and Jeremy.
Yeah.
You got, and now more infrastructure that you have. You have a JV with 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Is the name of the record label, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
100%. 3 a.m. is actually the brainchild of Jay. Jay is the first and still only South Asian to ever go #1 in America. Still
Only.
Yeah, which is amazing, right?
Yeah.
16 years later,
Wow.
still. And he's always been a champion for his people, and I through him have fallen in love with the Indian culture. It's beautiful culture. I think a lot of the songs that we hear without knowing it are heavily influenced by Indian sounds and rhythms topless and everything. And I don't think that culture or community has gotten the credit for it. You know? So we've been looking for artists, producers, songwriters of Indian descent to across the diaspora to come in and be recognized.
Yeah.
That's basically it. I mean, we've certainly we're expanding those things as well. Like, we are a record label, so if something comes up that's like different, you know, but still within the parameters, like we're happy to move forward there. But 3 a.m. is a labor of love that we've been going through for the last couple of years, and we finally got a home for in Virgin and now Range.
Okay, nice. Where'd the name come from?
It's funny you asked that, because I said earlier, you know, around 1, 2 a.m., Jay and I would be like, man, we got to get out of here, man. We got to finish this record. So Jeremy and Jay and I, we were like, well, 3 a.m. is like the time that we'd be listening back before we left. So 3 a.m. it's like we went through we wrote the song. 3 a.m. is the time where it's like, let's listen to this thing back before we leave. Right? and that's is like a euphoric thing to do. It's like, wow, we killed it today.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's like, the song is awesome. So let's go.
Sounds good. You like it?
You good? You good? Perfect. You know,
3 a.m. is the party starts in Miami.
Come on,
or Vegas. Like, that's when it gets going. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it's funny because I am nowhere near that part of my life anymore.
Me neither, but we can talk about it later.
Yeah. But I think that's what makes it nostalgic, though.
Yeah,
you know?
I would love to tell you about my experience in Miami, but I can't because I do not remember this.
Yeah.
That's just this is the
I'm saying the only thing I remember is writing down. That's it. That's it.
That's awesome. Have you been spending some time in Canada with 3 a.m.? Because there's so many artists.
So many. I've been talking to Gavin Shepard, who I know you had on the show as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's been sending me things. And yeah, Toronto is such a beautiful place for creativity. You know, so it's a melting pot of different cultures, even more so than New York City and other like major cities. And I didn't even know until obviously my wife is from there, so visiting there and seeing the different communities, and they get to be themselves in the community without conforming to any other culture.
Right.
And the Canadian government and the Toronto, you know, legislatures, I don't even want to use the word allow it to happen. You know what I'm saying? But it just is.
And we carry that like differently, like almost like we create like our culture or background. We hold that first before we do Canadian, and it not like it's in an interesting way where it's more so like my parents are from Colombia, right? And it's like, yeah, I am of Colombian descent. These are the cultures from Colombia. I'm allowed to kind of carry this through here.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and it's funny because of that. The people who live in Canada, they wave that flag like no other.
Yeah,
like it's beautiful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really incredible to see and to experience, because a Canadian is Canadian. They don't want to be known as Americans, even though they're right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right here. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know,
don't necessarily want to be the 51st state.
Yeah,
not necessarily.
No, which is a whole other podcast.
Whole other podcast. But we just didn't have that hockey game yesterday, so you know we're good for
You got the bragging rights.
You got the bragging rights. Yeah. But you spent some time there, specifically in Brampton. There's a lot of Southeast Asian artists who are just blowing up internationally. Yeah. So that's a space that you're looking at a lot.
Killing it. Yeah.
What's the different hats that you're wearing when it's record label versus and running a record label?
Yeah.
Versus artist manager. Because it can be pretty blurry these days.
I think as managers, we have to do so much, right? We it's funny. They're like, no, managers should do this too. They keep throwing jobs at us. But yeah, I think management, there's just so many artists that you can work with.
Yeah.
It's just because of the personal time that it takes, the personal connections, the conversations, it you just can't sign 15 artists.
Yeah,
you know?
which they want and rightfully need.
And they absolutely, yeah, you shouldn't. It's actually unethical, you know, as a manager. If, you know,
I agree.
Unless you have like a massive team.
Massive team.
You know what I'm saying?
Employees that can handle it. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
like I have 3 artists.
Yeah.
You know that I'm actively working on right now, and then like I said, I have great partners that I have other artists with as well. That I'm kind of, you know, what do you need today? You know, you know, and or how can I help on this specific situation? And that's how I'm able to have more. But 3, you know, artists I'm actively working, and that's a lot. I could probably take on, you know, maybe 2 more, you know, but anything more than that, you know, for me it's just it becomes it's not fair to the artist.
Yeah.
Right. So the label, whether it's Range Music or 3 AM, really able to expand what I can do for an artist and focus on one specific thing, which is making records.
Yep.
You know, and let the managers do everything else. So it's been really fun. I signed an artist by the name of Meg Donnelly recently. She's a Disney star.
Okay.
That is now breaking out of that, similar to, you know, a Selena Gomez or, you know, Demi Lovato type of thing, and I'm really excited about her. She's brilliant. She writes, she dances, and a really beautiful singer too. So I'm excited about it. We actually dropped a song today called Picky, and
I saw you posted that.
yeah. And so I'm excited about what that looks like on the label side, because, you know, I started out in A&R as an intern, you know, so to now come full circle 20 something years later, you know, and actually be putting records together with her and her team. I'm excited to just focus on one thing for an artist.
You cracked the code, man. You became a songwriter again as a record.
Oh, maybe I did. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't even realize that.
What's next for you, bro?
Well, in the near future, it's continuing to make sure that Shaboozey does reach that superstar status that we all see in him. Same thing with Paul Russell. I'm looking forward to continuing the story of Bozzy and getting more hits with him. I definitely want a superstar as an A&R. That's definitely a goal of mine. And then, you know, listen, I'm open for business on film and TV.
Okay.
I'm open for business in sports. My goal is to just keep expanding. You know, I that's what's great about Range too. And I don't want it to sound like a Range commercial, but we have, you know, just top tier everything.
It is what it is when you got
music, sports, and film and television.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I signed there.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to explore those things too.
Yeah. What is it? So I actually want to ask you, you said you're looking for a superstar A&R, because that's important as well.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
No, I mean, superstar as an A&R, like a superstar artist as an A&R. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Got you.
but also, definitely like this. You know somebody's an A&R. Yeah, I'm definitely down.
We'll talk.
Okay, cool. To hire people and put them in play. You know what I mean? For sure. Like I said, like that's actually. It's become a passion of mine the last couple of years, is to put people in position to get to where I'm at and beyond. You know, I tell a boss, you know, often, like, you know, he's my partner, but he's just younger than me, but he's very much so my partner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, bro, you know, maybe I'll work for you one day, man. Like, he doesn't work for me at all, but I'm just saying, like, he's young. He's a young guy. So I'm really like, I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the guys that we've hired and the women that work with us. And it's exciting to put all that together.
Yeah. It sounds like you're just, you know, really locked in.
Yeah. I mean, eventually I just want to be the guy you call when you need something big to happen.
Yeah. You gotta make the tectonic plates just shift. You can do that.
Yeah. More on it. I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it.
Man, listen, I love the fact that you said with Shaboozey as well as, the job, more or less, it's not finished. You want to make sure that he is the superstar that you guys all know he is to be.
Yeah.
The industry knows it.
Yeah.
Now it's just a matter of making sure that the general public also knows it.
Yeah.
Like, it's cemented, because people can get blinded and say maybe like, oh, you have this massive record, which I'm not downplaying it.
Mhm.
The record is huge and you broke records.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
But there's so much more work to be done.
100%.
So it's just amazing to hear that it's like the understanding that, because it's not always apparent when you're talking to people in the business.
To me, that's the fun part, like about this whole Shaboozey experience. We're just starting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Just starting, man.
That's exciting, right?
Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, I appreciate you tonight.
Hey,
Thanks
it's a
so
pleasure,
much,
brother.
man. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
All right, man.
Yeah, I could have talked to you forever.